My name is Brian Oh. I'm in charge of international business app at GAMEVIL. So I'll be discussing with you on how to build a good mobile game as a developer. Then working with a publisher for global market. The first off is who's GAMEVIL. We are a mobile game developer and publisher based in Korea. We are founded back in 2000, and we were listed in Kosdaq back in 2009. We have a local office, publishing office in LA, US, and Tokyo, Japan. We are very strong in not only in Korea but global markets with for both iOS and Android. At the same time, we have about a little bit more than 100 million install base worldwide. These are some of our portfolio that we publish service right now. The left-hand side, for your view, is some of our in-house games. GAMEVIL is known for developing non-casual, very good non-casual games. That means we have more of the male user base than female user base. The right-hand side, we have more of the casual publishing titles that we service. As you can see, we are very strong in RPG and sports titles. At the same time, we want to expand it to arcade and puzzle and board games, so we could attract more of the female user base. You could also see some of the familiar games like Eternity Warriors or Cut the Rope. Those are games that we service in Korea only. Other games we are servicing globally. We were selected as a top 11 publisher last year by Pocket Gamer, which is the top publisher, which means top publisher in Asia. How is GAMEVIL so much serious about publishing? Is that back in 2010, we were only servicing our own games. In 2011, we serviced 9 in-house, 11 publishing. And this year, we are going to total of releasing about 50 titles, and 40 titles will be third-party titles. So publishing side of business is very important to our company. So let's cut to the chase. Are developers and publishers getting along? This is a question that as a publisher, not developer, that we ask constantly, right? So developer versus publisher. Oftentimes, they dream of different things under the same roof, right? So when they make a deal, so both parties will say, okay, let's make this happen, right? And actually, developer is meaning our game is so good and we will make millions of dollars with it, right? And the developer is saying, okay, let's make this happen. But what they mean is we pay the finance commitment and we'll invest so much resources, so you better listen to us so we can make money. Both parties are determined to make revenue, but they are taking the different approaches. If the game is making good money and have a huge download, then everybody's happy, right? If not, then we have a problem. And both parties will start to point fingers at each other. Developer will say, where are the users? Did you do any marketings? What about promotions? Do you even care about our games, right? On the contrary, publisher will say, can you update the game? What about the bugs? Why delay, right? So everybody, it's a big chaos from this on. So how we can resolve this, or how we can prevent this happening? We are a developer and publisher. So if I put on a developer hat, if I were a small developer and starting up, I'll recommend you to consider these things before you select publisher, right? So what kind of markets or territory do you want to publish with the publisher? Do you want to go global? Or if you're an Asia developer, do you want to go China, Korea, Japan first? Or what? Finance commitment. Are you looking for big lump sum payments at the beginning? Or are you okay with the minimum guarantee with revenue share? The reason I'm saying this is a lot of big publishers nowadays are not paying initial payment, or they pay very little minimum guarantee or even no minimum guarantee, but they offer good marketing and user base. There are some publishers who are offering good initial payment at the contract, but they don't have experience like big publishers. They won't grow with you. They won't grow with a small publisher. small developer, sorry. At the same time, if you're a developer, you may want to get funded or get the investment for the project, right? In this case, you may have to share the IP with the publisher, because the publisher have to get the investment back, right? So, and the user acquisition and install base. Do you want to work with big publisher and listen to them, or do you want to work with a small publisher so you can share or you can earn the experience with them? Marketing and analytics, data stats, customer service, QA, how much the publisher is capable of these things. These are the elements that you need to focus on before you go ahead and select the publisher. Okay. Next, I'll be talking about as a publisher. These things are what we have learned working with developers so far. So the question is, how can publishers better work with developers? First thing is setting up the right process. As a publisher, we have this process set up. Once the contract is done, then we have the continuous feedback and discussion in terms of game development, like a game design, balance, item monetization, what kind of a game lifecycle should we have. And what we do is we receive each build in each steps, right? Alpha, beta, live. And once we receive the live version, before we submit to the platforms, then we do intense QA. This process is very crucial. That we'll be asking, publishers are asking the developer to do the full development QA, and once the build is gone to the publisher, they will be asking developer to send us the build every single day for 2 to 3 weeks for intense QA. Because we'll be giving you the feedback every single day. Even if we go through the process, there are unexpected errors or bugs, happening, waiting for you after launch. So you better be prepared. And after launch, you need to set up, or you need to have your mindset ready to have for the operation or maintenance development. Otherwise, you'll be so late, and your users will be gone, right? And publishers will be looking at the data, right? So what kind of users are coming in? When do they leave? What kind of items they're buying? At what level? What stages? And we'll talk to developers to come up with plans and patches and updates. And if the developer is slow on that, then we are in trouble, right? At the same time, the technical advice it's fine print, but technical advice, these are some things the publisher can also provide to you. The engines, a lot of developers are using Unity 3D nowadays. It's because it's simpler, right? Simpler to port cross-platform, iOS to Android to even to PC. And also, but it's not always easy, so they always ask us for their help. Sometimes they use the Cocos 2DX. That's the engine that a lot of people are using nowadays too. Graphics or screen resolution. You may want to talk to publishers on these issues too. iOS is simpler, right? They have one screen size but different resolutions. Nowadays, we are thinking whether we should continue to support 3G or 3GS or iPad 1 starting next year because of the development of tech, right? Because of iPhone 4, 4S, iPad 2, new iPad, they offer better resolution and higher spec. And anti-hacking. This is something that also developers should be well aware. The iOS, there are a lot of attempts in hacking when they make the purchase, right? They're in crackers as well. In Android, once you release the paid app, a moment later, you will see the free hacked app going around in the websites. So that's the business model. That's actually business side model of discussion that you need to discuss with the publisher, whether you should go paid or paid with in-app or in-app only. Okay, so right process is the first key. Second one is you always want to discuss with the publisher, and publisher wish to have to discuss with the developers on these issues. First one is platform. A lot of developers are developing the I know is only iOS, but from GAMEVIL's revenue, if we break down between two platforms, it's 50-50. Well, it's because we are strong in Korea too, right? And a lot of developers do not know how to develop and how to handle the Android. So a lot of times, the publisher will ask the iOS developer to give us the code, right? Then we will turn around and ask the other developer to develop the Android SKU, so we could do the business. There'll be the one case. And if you see the left-hand side, these are the platforms and markets that a lot of publishers wish to cover with you. Not only iOS and Android, there are other markets, right? Samsung apps, Amazon App Store. Also, the Windows Mobile will be coming up with their own markets, right? Also in local markets in Korea, there are three big carrier Android markets: T-Store, OLED Market, U+. Each and everybody has their own billing modules, their own policy, which are being constantly changed. So you need to talk with them how to handle those. Launch schedule. A lot of developers want to launch the game as soon as possible, but rushing everything is not the right answer, right? So you need to set up a reasonable development team to support the maintenance and ongoing operations. Business model. The last year in GAMEVIL's revenue, 70% of revenue came from freemium, 30% from paid with in-app. So we strongly believe in freemium business model. We have experience and much knowledge on it too. Especially for Android, as I said in the previous slide, if you go with a paid app only APK, then you'll be in big trouble. So you will have to go with a freemium. There are a lot of times that they do not know. If you do not know how to design the freemium games, you should talk to the publishers. They will guide you what kind of items, what kind of levels, what kind of gameplay time that you should have. Communication protocol. We're in Singapore, right? So I do believe there are a lot of developers from many countries, but it is essential to have a face-to-face meeting periodically. If the developer is sitting in Korea, and we are sitting in Korea, and we meet with them every single week. Every week we meet with them and do discussion. I am working with developers from US, UK, Spain, Russia, China. The time differences, right? So we set up a time. If you're a developer in Asia, if you have a publisher in US or Europe, you should set up time every week at a certain time into the conference call. You should be in the same page. Otherwise, they'll be speaking different language, and you'll be going with development, and they'll say this is not the game that they want. So communication protocol is very, very important. Share the same thought. As a publisher, we provide all the data that we collect. As a developer, if you're a developer, you are entitled to ask those data. We need to see the same data, same MAU, same DAU. So we can come up with the plans for the updates and more contents. ARPPU, that is the essential point too, right? So how much they are paying, and what they are paying, and when they are paying, these are the stats that publisher is following. You should have that too. The upper right-hand side, that's the screenshot of forum. A lot of developers are saying, I don't want to deal with publishing. I don't want to deal with marketing. It's your job, right? But we don't believe that way. You should see and go look at what communities are saying, what people are saying, what they demand. In this three elements are necessary for developers and publishers to have the same vision and same goal. Otherwise, again, we are different languages. So those were the three elements that we think that as a publisher, the developer has to work with the publishers. So I'll be sharing some of our experiences from publishing with working with other developers. First one is Air Penguin. I'm sure a lot of people know this game. This game became #1 in paid app in iOS last year, April, right? they came up with this great game concept with tilting and this cute penguin jumping around. So we didn't touch anything about the core concept. And we designed given advice on changing the UI and shop UIs, what kind of items we have to offer. And we launched it, it became a big hit. Everybody was happy. And later, we were discussing how to launch for the Android market. Again, Android freemium market. As a developer, they made a big money in paid app. So they were hesitant. They were saying, there'll be a big risk if we turn the paid game into full freemium. And we're just giving the game away, right? But we had to persuade them. So they finally agreed with us, and we launched the full premium version with Google Play and Korea Open Markets. The outcome, we had a lot more downloads. Obviously, it's free, right? And we had, in terms of revenue, we earned several times more. We have several times more ARPPU than paid app. So this is lesson learned. And since this game, we launched the Cartoon Wars. Cartoon Wars was the same case in Korea and Japan worldwide. It was paid app only, and we persuaded them to convert to freemium, and boom, there was a hit. Last War. This is a game, a lot of people may not know it. So if you top left-hand corner, that's iOS version only, then we launched the Android version too. This is a battle list, so you constantly have to battle with other gamers. So we decided developer came up with this idea that why not putting this logo of Apple and Android so that they can go start fighting each other. And we thought that was a good idea, right? So we implemented it, and a lot of people were having more time, spending more time in this battle list. And the bottom ones, left ones is you see the 6 character slot cards, card slots, sorry. So this is the game that you sell these character cards. We found out that during the operation, during the service, we found that a lot of people are buying those cards. And we discussed it, why not enhance it, right? So people could buy more cards, and then we could enhance the playtime. So that's what we did during the course of service after launch. That was the updates. Next one is a game called Fighter City. This is location-based game. Developer initially launched the game with a different name. They self-developed it, they self-published it. A lot of developers are saying we could do it, right? But unfortunately, the market situation is not that easy no more. So they came to us, and why don't we work with you? And we redid the UIs, we content flow. Also, we added more PvE contents. And this game is now very big in Korea too. Since it's a server multiplayer game, that if you're developing that similar type of games, you need to talk to a publisher on who is doing what. As a developer, then you are expert in your game and your game operation. So we decided to let them do server operation and server development and management. Then we'll be tracking all the data from those servers, so we can talk to each other. So this is the third case. The last case is a game called Plants War. This is similar to Dota, similar to League of Legends, only in mobile. So they came up with this game, very good game, well designed, so we didn't touch anything. But the problem came up after launch. As I said, we were planning all the contents updates, but gamers were consuming so fast, we couldn't catch up. So we had to prepare the updates urgently. So after a month from the initial launch, we did about 4 or 5 updates, content updates. The users constantly complaining, I cannot play, I'm max level, what do we do? Right? So those things happen. I think this was the last example, and this is the last slide. As the last note, if you're a developer, if you're a small developer and starting up, I would recommend you to work with a publisher that fit your portfolio. If you want to do everything by yourself, then I'll recommend you, please do not. Otherwise, you have a big game, right? So I hope this presentation helped you in finding publishers, And if you have questions, just let me know. Thank you.
So we have time for 1 or 2 questions. Do we have any questions for Brian? Yeah, please walk to the mic, please.
Hi, thanks for the speech. And let me tell you, I'm a big fan of your games. Really nice. And what do you think is a bad publisher for you?
What do you mean?
What is bad publisher? You know, there are a lot of publishers. You know, how developers should choose, in what, elements or, what kind of. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I don't know how to answer that because I haven't experienced any bad publishers yet. I would say bad publisher would be not giving you feedback.
So my question is actually, what's the benefits and the strengths of you as a publisher? So that's my question.
Can you repeat that, please?
Well, what's your strengths as a GAMEVIL? For developers, what should, why they should choose, you as a developer, publisher?
Since we are Singapore, we're in Asia, I'll assume that that you guys are all from Asian developer, that we have user base not only in Korea and worldwide. So we have very strong user base, more than 100 million, right? And as a publisher who has office, Asian publisher who has office in US, we have direct relationship with Apple and Google. So that platform relationship is also essential. That you have a chance to show what kind of games that you have and what kind of games that they expect that are launched in their platform. So those 2 elements. The third one is, again, the communication that single person, actually, project manager is assigned. If we after we sign the game, then we have a separate team. We have a monetization team, we have a game designing team, we have an operation team. They all sit in Korea. So you'll be, as a developer, you'll be contacting only one person as a contact window, but at the backbone, back end, you have other like 15 to 20 people helping you to make the better game. So that'll be our strength.
Any other questions for Brian? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.